I want to get to this boycott that Joe Biden has decided, and I think rightly, to create what is, I guess, a Clayton's boycott, a diplomatic boycott of the Beijing Olympics. China's obviously not happy. Should Australia join, and how quickly should we do that?
Australia should join. I signed the letter that Eric Abetz wrote back in August to the Prime Minister and to the Sports Minister, calling for a diplomatic boycott of the Winter Olympics. It is important we do send a message to Communist China that we are not happy with how they treat especially the Uighurs, but in terms of their treatment of the law, the rule of law, and how freedom is treated in that country. It is important that we allow athletes to compete, but certainly no politician should be going there, and nor should any other government officials, apart from those who are supporting the Olympics team. So as a stopped clock is right once or twice a day. President Biden is right, and good on him for doing this. Good on for New Zealand for joining the diplomatic boycott. Ian Duncan-Smith, the former Tory leader and former cabinet minister, has called on Boris Johnson to boycott the Winter Olympics, and I think we should do it, and we should do it sooner rather than later.
By the sound of it, Britain and Canada will do it fairly quickly. Can I ask something, though? Those who are worried about our relationship with China might suggest, this is only going to ruffle them even further. Don't be like that. I'm sorry, but that mentality is not something we can hold on to anymore. We've got to look after our sovereignty, and we've also got to go with the international rules about human rights. We've got to look after people, not use them and abuse them.
Communist China is a bully, and if we go to Communist China on our knees, begging for forgiveness, all they'll do is give us another kick. We've got to make sure we stand up for our values, and we've got to make sure that we're part of a broader international coalition from the US to the European Union to Canada and the UK to show that the rule of law is important, to show that their treatment of the Uighurs is basically genocide, and make sure that Communist China do get that message. We've already seen how they've treated us in Australia with our wine exports, our barley exports, and our beef. So bullies don't respect weakness. We've got to be strong and stand up to Communist China.
Yeah, bullies do not respect weakness. That is something that people need to keep in mind. One final thing on this. I can't imagine that it's such a great thing for international athletes to be in the village and out at the venues competing, whilst China's #1 tennis player is still not heard from or is imprisoned somewhere on the outskirts of the city. That is unacceptable, isn't it?
It is terrible, and it just shows the depths of depravity within the leadership of the Chinese Communist Party, that they think they can thumb their nose at the world when they've got the Winter Olympics coming there in the new year, where they've got their leading female tennis player who is missing. For all we know, she could be in a concentration camp somewhere. So I feel sorry for our athletes who are going to go. I wish them good luck, and I hope they win as many gold medals as possible. But we should consider how lucky they are to represent Australia and not be representing a country like Communist China.
James McGrath, great comments. Thank you so much for your time.
Anytime. Toodaloo.